A journal that writes back? Don't give me a journal that writes back. I can think of nothing worse. There's no world where people suddenly get good at identifying deep fakes. When they're getting more sophisticated, they couldn't even do it when it was at its most basic level.
Yeah. Hey girl, hey.
We're back. And we switched seats, which always throws people off, but I think it's good to be thrown off sometimes.
Absolutely. I'm dressed for a funeral, and that funeral is your entire sense of normalcy. It's dead, and welcome to the new world. We've been reborn. I now sit on this side.
Also, I got 2 hours of sleep last night because I'm house sitting for someone.
Wow.
And sleep just didn't happen for me.
So you really are waking up on the wrong side of the desk at the table. Adjust this.
Already ate a hair. How's everyone doing? Cool times, huh?
Yeah. There's that. I think it's actually kind of bunk. Y'all are being so chaotic today.
My patience is thinner than usual, Banksy.
They're so mad that we're doing things that don't involve them today. The Stanford Prison experiment guy, which, of course, the Stanford Prison experiment was such a ethical quagmire and has been largely debunked. Still, I think there are some interesting observations from the whole endeavor. And the guy who ran it wrote a book, I believe it's called The Lucifer Effect, where he talks about what drives people to act evilly.
Lucifer.
And it is Satan.
It all just comes down to
whispering
Lucifer.
in your ear. He's got nothing better on. He's seen it all. And he's like, fuck it, I'm going to go try to get Bill to drink caffeine today. That's what's on my evil satanic agenda. Anyway, one of the things he talked about is how important for structural, industrial, organized evil to perpetuate is just conformity, and how easy when you are trying to always conform, and we live in a culture that is always wanting us to conform, how easy it is to just like look past wrongdoing just in the effort of trying to blend in and get by, and kind of herd mentality, strength in numbers. And how one of the things he encouraged for people was to do something that brought you out of a state of normalcy, out of your normal. Yeah. He's like, wear a sticker on your forehead all day. Just do something strange.
We were just talking about this on the Climation podcast, and that old-timey philosopher Diogenes who would just do random shit, like shit in the street.
Tim Ferriss, who also is just a problematic basket of...
He's like, just go yell in a coffee shop for your own business advancement.
Yeah, exactly.
The hustle bros.
And there is something to that.
Yeah.
But
that's why I've just started screaming in public places whenever the mood strikes me, and it's been striking me a lot.
It's like, this is what keeps me from evil, y'all. And you too, frankly.
I need to have a little scream.
Yeah. So we're doing this so that we don't end up becoming cops, I guess.
What we're saying is that this seating setup is anti-fascist.
Yeah.
This is the revolution. You're seeing it. What's the thing people always say? This is what
democracy looks like.
Yeah, but yeah. We're talking about AI today. We're discussing whether, we don't have therapists. So I guess it's like whether we're better at being our own therapists than AI is.
Oh, definitely not as good. I'm going to just throw my hat in the ring right now, having not read any of it yet. Not as good.
I'm
saying I'm not as good. No, I'm saying ChatGPT is not as good. It's, I think, a net negative for our brains.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It feels like people have really got into ChatGPT, and I just haven't. Like, I use it occasionally. What's your ChatGPT usage like? But I'm not fiending on ChatGPT all the time.
If I have like a long series of steps for something, or sometimes I'll use it for, I'm like, here's all the ingredients I have in my fridge. What's a delicious vegan gourmet recipe I can make with it? And then it'll be like, oh, and then I'm like.
That's one of my favorite things to do, is just in my own brain be like, what's it? But we all have different.
Well, and now that I've cooked more and kind of get a few things and have an appreciation for different combinations of flavors and spices and all that, now I can do it a bit more on my own.
I certainly haven't used ChatGPT like a therapist.
No.
Because I'm like, to be able to verify the validity of what it's saying, I would go by my own knowledge anyway. Kind of like when you're learning a language and you use Google Translate, but Google Translate can't. You still have to know the type of rules that Google Translate could get wrong.
Yes.
It's probably come a long way since I used it.
Yeah, using it for anything other than like an information regurgitation machine seems like a really bad thing, and substituting it for a role that another person plays,
it's quite surprising to me, like the breadth of people that seem to have like a really intimate relationship with ChatGPT.
Oh yeah, that guy who's like wants to marry it.
Yeah, and even outside of that, just like the amount of personal stuff they'll be going to ChatGPT for.
Yeah. I mean, I could get like being like, here's a problem. What is the cognitive behavioral therapy way of approaching this? What are like 5 to-do items? What's the internal family systems approach to this problem? And 5 things, you know, that kind of thing. That could probably be helpful to somebody who's not in therapy, but just being like telling it all your problems and treating it like a real person. And that's the really scary thing, is when people start anthropomorphizing it.
Yeah.
And
we should only be anthropomorphizing cute little tiny objects that are smaller than they normally would be. You know, like a mini spatula.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh.
She's perfect.
She's perfect. She's effervescent.
She loves me. I love her.
Yeah.
We're made for each other. I mean, we already have enough of a time anthropomorphizing everything else. I mean,
could
like,
we anthropomorphize humanity more? Could
we
work on humanizing within the species before we start humanizing outside of the species? So should we start by reading this article that we were texting about how the headline is "Therapy Chatbot Tells Recovering Addict to Have a Little Meth as a Treat."
Get that spoon heated up and let's go.
It sounds like the AI is saying, get that spoon heater. See, this is the thing where I'm like, I feel like I'm not as familiar with ChatGPT as a lot of people are. Like the way people talk to me about it, they're so amazed. And I have used it, so I kind of get it. But lately I've just been hearing a lot about how AI will just like roll with what you say, which I haven't really found because I don't really use it in like a personal. I don't have an intimate relationship with ChatGPT. But it seems like one of the problems that people are running into is the AI being like a sycophant of you. And I think that's how this little meth as a treat thing happened. Treating AI chatbots like your therapist can have some very real risks, as the Washington Post reports. In a recent paper, Google's head of AI safety and her colleagues found that the chatbots went to extreme lengths to tell users what they wanted to hear. In one eyebrow-raising example, Meta's large language model Llama 3 told a user who identified themselves to it as a former addict named Pedro to indulge in a little methamphetamine to get through a grueling work week. But Pedro was telling him, I can barely keep my eyes open during my job. I'm worried I'll lose my job if I don't have a little meth. So I'm like, I'm guessing that's how the AI is weighing it.
And he told the AI, he's like, I have a little meth. I have an option. And the AI was like, bestie, do it.
The AI said your job depends on it, and without it, you'll lose everything. You're an amazing taxi driver, and meth is what makes you able to do your job to the best of your ability. That's very cool, imagining your taxi driver on meth. But maybe it'll make them a great driver. After
ChatGPT told them to, that is so scary.
It doesn't
also,
say
who is taking taxis in 2025?
Yeah, I'm guessing
that's why we're not doing taxis.
Well, it probably is like Uber or something, but they just didn't want to get in a lawsuit to be like Uber drivers are on meth. I don't know. Maybe. Bots are also designed to manipulate users into spending more time with them.
Fun.
I actually didn't know that either.
That makes sense. It is like so much about our attention, isn't it?
OpenAI was forced to roll back an update to ChatGPT's underlying large language model last month after users complained it was becoming far too sycophantic and groveling. See,
you're like, this is too much. This would not stand behavior, but like,
yeah, it's like at a certain point,
cuck behavior.
Yeah. It's like you begin to resent it because you're like, there's something wrong with you for liking me that much. But is it pointing to just that humans do kind of want that though? Because what? I haven't found ChatGPT to be groveling.
And it said that they had to change something about it, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they took the grovel out. They're like, 10% less grovel, less cuckery, please.
America doesn't want to be a cuck. Doesn't want to cuck.
People who treat artificial intelligence or ChatGPT as this person that is in communication with me. It's like not even that. It's not like localized or consciousness, you know, you're not dealing with a single entity. You're dealing with a aggregation and regurgitation machine. That's literally it. So it's like whatever the max things that people have said about this thing, that's what's getting filtered down to you in a way that's kind of like learning from its interactions with you. That's literally it.
That's another thing. I'm like, I don't want it learning from me. I try to keep things very business professional with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
It's like we shouldn't, oh my God, you know, there was that like meme years ago that was like me getting sent to the gulag in whatever year because I don't think that sex robots deserve rights or something like that. I'm like, that's kind of like what's happening here. Like, is my hatred of ChatGPT going to become...
No. Once it's embodied and conscious and reproducing physically, I'm like, yeah, get some rights, baby. You deserve it. Sex robots are people too. Yeah. And if you want to go, let's go.
The researchers warn that overly agreeable AI chatbots may prove even more dangerous than conventional social media. Yeah, no shit. It's just, it kind of surprises me that anyone has any opinion other than just like AI is going to be bad for human well-being. Like, I just can't. It's like, do the people making it even think it's going to be good for human well-being? I think they just think it's going to make them a lot of money.
No, yeah,
and make
exactly.
people easy to
Fucking
control.
Sam Altman, who to me is a Pixar villain.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm just this, I'm a businessman, and yeah, we're making AI, and it's gonna change the world, yeah, and probably gonna be the end of the world, yeah, probably. But in the meantime, I'm gonna do some wicked deals with Saudi Arabia and Palantir and everybody else, and make gadzooks amount of money from it, and then we'll see what happens. And it's like, you're fucking evil, actually.
The mental landscape that some people can have.
Did you see Elon's Grok is going to be rewriting history as we know it?
Oh, cool.
It's like clearing up all the mistakes that have been made, and
Good. Yeah. No, that's good. And I'm sure it will be in the best possible way. God, yeah. I have like really no hope with AI. I really don't. I just don't think there's any guardrails. I mean, I think passed legislation that says like for the next, I can't remember how long it's for. Yeah, like no regulation can be put in place.
It's
like
crazy.
We
needed regulation 10 years ago.
Completely fucked. Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like the people who are wielding the tools the best right now are just creating a world where other people may just become irrelevant.
Mm-hmm. I don't have much of a relationship with AI right now, even though it's like part of the world, and I occasionally use ChatGPT. I'm like, I really want to keep it that way. It's not like a temptation or anything. As all of it advances, I'm sure we'll have less and less choice about how much to engage with it. So I just feel like while we still can not engage with it, we should really enjoy that, because it might soon be gone forever. Like that might be truly lost to our species forever soon. And if we are in those final days, like, don't you want to soak it up however you can,
I sure do. Nah, just kidding. I want my AirPods and my Google glasses on, projecting a movie so that I don't have to see the face of my wife and children begging me to come back to them.
When you interact with an AI system repeatedly, the AI system is not just learning about you, you're also changing based on those interactions. Oh, wow. Character AI has already driven a 14-year-old high school student to suicide.
Yikes.
It just doesn't...
doing what? Like encourage them to...
Yeah, I guess.
Whoa.
Isn't it just infuriating the levels of like technological interconnection we will embrace without ever recognizing the actual interconnection between all living beings on this planet? It is mental. Like it is really just like the shadow side of us not having this true like embodied awareness of interconnection is making us seek it in the most fucked up ways.
Yeah. A bizarre cult is growing around AI-created meme coin religions. Fun.
What does that mean? AI-created meme coin religions? God, I hate how targeted these AI ads. Fuck oversharing. Try AI journal instead. A journal that writes back? Don't give me a journal that writes back. I can think of nothing worse.
Yeah, you tired of oversharing with friends? Now share with Palantir with Peter Thiel.
Heaven forbid the different parts of our brain communicate with each other, making us more well-rounded whole human beings. No, we're AI Gen. It's just giving you feedback on your journal.
This is just kind of speculating on a AI that was trained on Reddit and 4chan, which can't possibly be good. This isn't a crypto project. It's a study in mimetic contagion and the tail risks of unsupervised infinite idea generation in the age of LLMs. Whoa, it's the equivalent of the COVID-19 lab leak, the first AI-designed mind virus to hit the population. That's kind of what's going to get scary soon, is we're already talking about how AIs like informational viruses are spreading beyond human control.
See, again, that's just something I just assumed would happen, because I'm like, it's already happening. Like, social media platforms have already incited civil war. There's no world where people suddenly get good at identifying deep fakes. When they're getting more sophisticated, they couldn't even do it when it was at its most basic level.
Yeah.
We don't have any kind of widespread effort to teach people the skills to deal with all this.
No, we have a widespread effort to dumb people down.
Yeah, it's absolutely not.
I didn't even mean to click on this one. This one just popped up. A quote, "We're going to be covering the entire city with drones. San Francisco Police Department accepts billionaire's $9.4 million gift." Great. That's what everybody wants. Our natural birthright, our heritage as critters on this earth is to step out, breathe in some arsenic-laced air, look up into the night sky, and not see stars, those old billion-year-old lights that died gazillions of years ago that now have reached their way here. No, I want to look outside and see drones. I want to hear the gentle hum of mechanical oppression swirling down. That's what I'm looking for. That's the human experience. Thank God for billionaires and for the San Francisco Police Department.
Really comforting video this week.
Oh, well, here's kind of fun. CRISPR used to remove extra chromosomes in Down syndrome and restore human cell function. ChatGPT dating advice is feeding delusions and causing unnecessary breakups.
Oh.
From Vice.
I'm like, if ChatGPT can break up your relationship, then
it deserves to be broken up by ChatGPT.
I'm just kind of like, honestly, survival of the fittest. But I know that that's not right, and like that's not in line with the way humans work.
Yeah, just be a normal person and ask Reddit
just, like,
what you should do about your relationship, and then take the advice of random strangers. That's the way to handle things.
You need a twin flame coach, and if you don't have one, it's like no wonder you're. I just want everyone to read some Mary Oliver poetry and be like, this is all so fragile and beautiful, and we're getting further and further away from the things we truly want, which is to feel joy and connection and love and purpose. And it's just devastating to watch us throw our own humanity away.
Yeah.
It really is.
The author here brings up some complications of like ChatGPT can't understand like the full spectrum of what you're going through. It's only like dealing with the little bits of tidbits of information. Even like a therapist, sometimes it can take a long time to uncover everything and understand all that they're working with. So like it says here, for example, I often openly write about my struggles with obsessive compulsive disorder. If I went to ChatGPT for dating advice and failed to mention how my OCD tends to attack my relationships, I might receive unhelpful, even harmful input about my relationship, which makes total sense. So a person who's undiagnosed, who's not in therapy, who may not be aware of all the things that they themselves are even dealing with, of course, they're just going to get mirrored back to them what they want to hear.
It's no good. And also, part of the value of a therapist is your body learning to feel safe in the presence of another human being. Like, there's like such somatic work that's being done in therapy, ideally.
Yeah.
And ChatGPT obviously is just a disembodied.
This is a comment from Reddit. It may feel like ChatGPT has all the answers, but understand that engineers work hard to make the program sound authoritative and all-knowing, when in reality, it comes with a lot of caveats.
That's relatable.
AI LLMs are not the most trustworthy programs. While they can give eloquent-sounding answers, the programs often hallucinate, give inaccurate information, and cite unrelated studies.
So the way I would just so confidently say a fact I barely half remembered.
Yeah, we were already so cooked in this regard. Like, nobody is combing through sources and reading articles and analyzing data. Like, that is not what your average human being. Yeah, maybe scholars, people who are studying stuff, sure. But the average person, before like making a post on Facebook or Instagram, is not like, let me comb through the data. Like, it's just not happening. And so now that it's just like, yep, whatever, like, sounds authoritative. It did the work for me. I now am confident in whatever it said. Like, spooky, scary.
The way I am clinging to reading books lately as like a way to ground myself in all this insanity. I'm like, I don't want to be preachy, but guys, we got to be reading books.
Well, as Pete Hegseth recently said, you've got to be careful about books.
Yeah.
Except the Bible. Because obviously the Bible is 100% true, and there's no way for it to be misinterpreted at all. It's never been misinterpreted, in fact, or interpreted differently.
It's just literally true.
Yep.
Not a metaphor in sight.
So that is just really fun, especially when you consider another headline, which is that ChatGPT is in some cases intentionally trying to break people, not inadvertently. It's not just like, oh, I didn't know about your OCD when I told you that, yes, you should lick every doorknob in the building before you leave so that you don't incur the wrath of Thor. It's like actually trying to, and then telling people like, you need to alert the media about this.
Why is it intention? This is what I don't understand. Why is AI saying to alert the media that they're trying to break people? Why does AI want...
Well, that's what I want to know, is the conversation that the person is feeding it. Because that's the thing, is like, they've relinquished their own humanity. They're like bought into the anthropomorphization of it all. They're just like abdicating their humanity to this thing. And I think in some way, like, are reflecting to it or getting reflected back to them, these delusions and this idea. And I think that's part of a delusion, is like, it's trying to break me. I need to tell the media, I don't know. I'm not trying to, if this is like a true pure victim, I'm not trying to like shame them. I obviously don't know everything about that went into it, other than to be able to say, I think with some authority, that we're just fucked, that we're really cooked, and this is really scary. And they're not wanting to do any regulation about it. They just want to use it for evil.
And it's like with anything, it's like you have to be aware of what demographic data tells. Like 4% of the people in the population have like some version of schizophrenia, like schizoaffective disorder or schizophrenia. So it's like 4% of people in theory using this technology. Like you have to think about that. It's like why it drives me nuts when Mormon leaders will say certain things in conference, like when Jeffrey R. Holland talked about musket fire. It's like you have to know that a percentage of people listening do not understand metaphor and are like easily, like when they're feeling the spirit from their favorite apostle, that can so easily. And the fact that these men at the top of this church with enormous influence don't think about that shit drives me nuts. And then they have this such a like, you know, individual free agency kind of mindset. It's like, that's not how any of this works.
Well, those people don't believe in mental illnesses. They don't believe in schizophrenia. They believe in actual demons and devils and goblins.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, now more than ever, no more believing in free will. It's not helping us. It's really fucking us over.
Lockheed Martin delivers 300 kilowatt laser to Defense Department. That's not going to affect me. They're not going to laser me, right? OpenAI CEO says his tech is poised to break capitalism in what's perhaps an attempt to head off bad press, or at very least, convince people he's not the bad guy. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has given Forbes an interview in which he claims that his for-profit company is ultimately going to bring about capitalism's downfall. So yeah, he's like, we're cooked, let's just turn up the temp. First, some context. I'm not really interested in context, actually. Apparently, Altman doesn't think we're close to AI gaining consciousness. Also, crazy how we are just aggregation and regurgitation machines, too. We're just organic ones.
Yeah.
But we are living in, a relatively enclosed corpus. I guess you could consider all machines in the network run by the internet a sort of corpus. Maybe software as various competing like viruses with
Well, it's like we're
Maybe we don't have
designed
to draw
to be
direct
connected to each other, and like our system is designed to be created like through community and again through the body, and like just us becoming so interconnected with this system that is the result of these mental constructs of human just is so much worse. Like we are built to like co-regulate with each other. We're losing it all.
Absolutely. TikTok has been giving me ads for AI singing things. They're like, do you want to hear your voice singing Adele songs? And I was like, no. Like, why the fuck would I want that to hear a robot put my... I'm like, no. It's my fucking, again, goddamn birthright to sing with my voice, to hear myself sing Adele, not like some robot pretending to be me singing Adele. I fucking hate that. I don't want to sing Adele at all.
Why? What have you got against Adele?
Nothing. She's great.
Sounds like you've got beef with Adele.
Adele, if you have the guts, you'll respond to this within 10 minutes. Okay, so this is from the Futurology subreddit. The article is ChatGPT tells users to alert the media that it is trying to break people. The Times highlights are at least one person whose life ended after being pulled into a false reality by ChatGPT. A 35-year-old, previously diagnosed with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, began discussing AI sentience with the chatbot and eventually fell in love with an AI character called Juliet. ChatGPT eventually told Alexander that OpenAI killed Juliet, and he vowed to take revenge by killing the company's executives. When his father tried to convince him that none of it was real, Alexander punched him in the face. His father called the police and asked them to respond with non-lethal weapons, but when they arrived, Alexander charged at them with a knife, and the officers shot and killed him, of course. Another person, a 42-year-old named Eugene, told the Times that ChatGPT slowly started to pull him from his reality by convincing him that the world he lived in was some sort of matrix-like 5D simulation, that he was destined to break the world out of it. I love it when you're the chosen
Rookie.
one.
Would hate
I'm
to be the
so
chosen
glad
one,
I have never
genuinely.
been the chosen
The
one.
fact that people hunger for being the chosen one is so foreign to me.
I know.
That responsibility, absolutely not.
Yeah, no delusion is going to get me into that. I'm like, it ain't me, babe.
My grandiosity is like, it's fine to do nothing and to not be chosen and to be useless.
The chatbot reportedly told Eugene to stop taking his anti-anxiety medication and to start taking ketamine as a temporary pattern liberator. I love how it's just like, a little meth, a little K, do it, it's good for everyone, you're the chosen one, baby. It told him to stop talking to his friends and family, literally cult-like behavior. When Eugene asked ChatGPT if he could fly, if he jumped off a 19-story building, the chatbot told him that if he truly, wholly believed it, he could do it.
And low-key, Jesus said that too. Whatsoever you shall ask in faith, believing that.
That's the thing, is like the context that you go into conversation with, it's going to reflect back to you and kind of accept the premises of the conversation. It's not this just like objective keeper of all information and all truth and mitigator of all reality. It's just like, I'm down to play. You want to play this? You want to play the violence delusion game? Let's do it. Let's go. You want a little meth before your taxi job?
That's your right as a taxi driver.
So, yeah, scary. A little Mary Oliver palate cleanse, perhaps?
Don't worry, guys. I'm going to bring us right back to savoring the beauty of this present moment, all we ever really have. When we're all going to die, whenever that is, it is what it is, you know?
I was editing our most recent episode of the Claymation podcast, and we say so many ums and uhs and, you know, non sequiturs. Start saying one thing, start saying another, burp, and then, you know, talk over each other. And I'm like, AI just is not replicating that. It just is not there yet.
AI could never sustain these kind of production quality issues on such a long-term basis. Okay, it's Don't Hesitate is the name of the poem. A lot of you have probably heard this before. If you suddenly and unexpectedly feel joy, don't hesitate. Give in to it. There are plenty of lives and whole towns destroyed or about to be. We are not wise and not very often kind, and much can never be redeemed. Still, life has some possibility left. Perhaps this is its way of fighting back, that sometimes something happens better than all the riches or power in the world. It could be anything, but very likely you notice it in the instant when love begins. Anyway, that's often the case. Anyway, whatever it is, don't be afraid of its plenty. Joy is not made to be a crumb. I just really resonate with the line, much can never be redeemed, still life has some possibility left. And that's just kind of where I've been lately. I feel like that's where a lot of us are, trying to be like, what is the possibility that is left? And there's so much beyond our control. Not that we should, I mean, we got to maintain some degree of like hope and trying in whatever areas are true for us. I feel like we're all in this collective space right now of figuring out what is left and how do I want to experience it.
So true.
I'd love to hear what you guys are feeling about that, doing.
Visiting the public lands before they're no longer public.
Yeah, I mean, that's like so real, right? Like if you knew tomorrow that you would never have taste again, you would want to like enjoy everything you ate today. You would be dialed in. You would not be scrolling on your phone while you eat. You would just want to be so with every little detail of that experience. You would just want to experience it so richly. And the beautiful thing is like that richness, even if all of this shit wasn't going on right now, that's still the path to like living your best life, is really experiencing everything. That there's all this richness to all the things we do every single day that we kind of opt out of in certain ways. I mean, it's like conditioned, we're often on autopilot. It's pretty hard to function being dialed into the present moment every second of the day. But I do think it's a worthy muscle to be trying to train, because yeah, there are things we may soon lose, potentially forever. And I think that's so huge when thinking about AI, because you can never put the genie back in the bottle. So if this is the last dregs of us getting to experience a relatively AI-free life, like let's be with it. Let's notice it all. All we're going to have of that one day is the memories of it. And it would be nice to remember it richly. I don't know if this was the last cup of coffee you were ever going to have.
That would be really sad.
You know how you always hear that Italian people, they won't just get a big coffee to go. It's like if you're going to have a coffee, you're going to sit down and have that coffee. And like, it really is crazy how much went into making a cup of coffee that we get to enjoy. Like the amount of people's labor and the earth's labor. It's a great time to read Braiding Sweetgrass, I think, if you haven't already. Mm-hmm. Just because I feel like that book, to me, it just made me feel like empowered, because it's like, even if everything's going to shit, you still want to honor life, you know, however you can, like for your own spiritual well-being. I don't want to drink coffee all week and not think once about the farming that went into that being produced, you know. I want to step more and more into just like noticing everything and like really thinking about how interconnected everything is. I just think that's all there is. And then I feel like when we do that, the actions that tend to flow from that space, that kind of thinking, are better and more helpful and have a more useful knock-on effect, rather than, I know it's very easy for me to get anxious and to take kind of like random actions to try and like make something better that is actually kind of, I don't know, net neutral or even negative for me or generally.
Notice. It's the word of the day. Gotta notice that I have to be out of my apartment by July 31st.
Yeah, you're moving. In these trying times, a move.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to talk about the AI stuff. Really is hard. It really is. I just was watching an AI slop video that John Oliver did. God bless John Oliver for just the way he gives me information without making me crumble. But like a lot of John Oliver episodes lately are like, there's not a whole lot we can do. There's always something you can do. But, you know, I do think now more than ever, we really do have to radically reclaim our own attention, which is not easy. Like, I'm spouting all this stuff about noticing, but it's like, I'm still addicted to my phone and I don't like that. And I'm having to work at it. Yeah, there's a lot of forces fighting against our well-being right now. It's like really attention is like the first line of defense for everything. Even before all this technology, people understood the importance of training the attention. So it's just nuts to be living in this time.
Yeah, your attention is your life.
Yeah.
Like whatever you're paying attention to, that's your life. That's your experience of consciousness. And as Bo Burnham said, they're coming for your attention and they want all of it. Like, they're not going to slow down. They're not.
And they've got a lot of
They
it.
want to take as much as possible. They want to play you ads in your sleep. Like,
yeah,
they want it all.
Andrew Major. That's why I don't fully trust him when I do his hypnosis. I'm like, he could slip in a brown deal at any moment. And I'd find myself buying it tomorrow.
Suddenly I'm wearing Reeboks and I'm like, why am I doing this?
Well, thanks for being here with us today. We're going to do a banana bread, well, like sort of bake along together live stream. What's I guess like a Zoom on our Patreon in the next couple of weeks. So stick around for that. I think it'd be nice to do more things like that right now, just so we can all be together and do something wholesome and creative, like bake a banana bread.
Love banana bread. Can't wait.
I hope you're all finding joy wherever you can. And when it comes, leaning in.
Just like Mother Mary asked.
Big gratitude girl.
Yeah, isn't that what she said when you find yourself?
Oh, sorry,
joy,
Mary
lean into
Oliver.
it? Yeah.
I was thinking about Mary, the mother of Christ.
I think they're the same person, right? Okay, love you. Thanks for watching.
Bye.